Hello, this is my study number 2 on St. Patrick's Day. A little bit of introduction. This case study examines the history of St. Patrick's Day and how the holiday is used as a form of symbolic ethnicity. My thesis statement states that St. Patrick's Day allows for people to express their Irish heritage through celebrations, but dominant institutions focus on entertainment and profit, often ignoring the history behind the holiday. For some background context, St. Patrick's Day is a religious holiday that is celebrated on March 17th during Lent. This holiday honors the death of patron St. Patrick, who died on March 17th, 460 AD, and was recognized for introducing Christianity to Ireland. There are many cultural festivities that take place on St. Patrick's Day, including the popular tradition of wearing green. Traditionally, many families go to church in the morning and then eat bacon and cabbage in the evening as part of the cultural feast. There are also big parades that take place, the largest parade taking place in New York with up to 3 million spectators. In recent years, Irish parades have expanded to Boston, Chicago, and Georgia. This holiday is a form of symbolic ethnicity, which, according to the article Kiss Me, I'm Irish American, is when people can decide how much or how little of their ethnic background they want to incorporate in their daily life. Through the traditions of wearing green and attending parades, this holiday allows for individuals to still feel a part of the culture without it interfering with their daily routine. After the day ends, individuals are not strictly tied to continuing practicing the cultural aspects. One key concept from the course that connects to St. Patrick's Day is Tema Okun's characteristics of white supremacy. More specifically, the case connects to the characteristic right to comfort, which is the belief that those with power have a right to emotional and psychological comfort. In other words, white people can avoid harsh conversations so that they don't feel upset, and they can continue to stay comfortable even if it means hurting others. In the case of St. Patrick's Day, according to the article, when other cultures' holidays become an excuse to party, the holiday was originally promoted by activists to celebrate Irish culture and fight prejudice against Irish Americans. However, today, many Americans see the holiday as an opportunity to party and drink, prioritizing fun over the holiday's true cultural meaning. This connects to the characteristic of right to comfort because people don't want to feel uncomfortable, so they avoid thinking about Irish Americans' personal struggles and history instead of addressing the historical inequality. Another key concept that connects to St. Patrick's Day is cultural appropriation. According to our textbook, cultural appropriation occurs when members of a dominant societal culture adopt aspects of a marginalized culture without understanding or respecting the history or significance of those borrowed aspects. This concept can also be seen in other ethnic holidays through Gentile Passover, since it takes parts of a Jewish holiday while ignoring other aspects. In the article, when other cultures become an excuse to party, the author recounts his experience at a Gentile Passover celebration with friends, where they read the story of the Jews being freed from slavery in Egypt and eating dinner, but that some rituals, like dipping parsley in salt water, were skipped during the feast. This example connects to cultural appropriation because people take parts of the Jewish Passover tradition without truly following the rituals and meaning behind the holiday. Similarly, St. Patrick's Day reflects cultural appropriation because Irish culture is often represented as basic symbols, like wearing green, which don't truly capture Irish history. Sociologically, this shows how some groups can take other parts of other cultures while ignoring the cultural meaning. The institutions involved in St. Patrick's Day are businesses, media, and local government, as well as event organizers. Businesses like the alcohol industry benefit from St. Patrick's Day as events at bars. The media promotes party-focused images of St. Patrick's Day, and local governments allow for parades and public celebrations to take place on the holiday. These institutions reproduce inequality because they prioritize entertainment and profit over cultural education. The original purpose of St. Patrick's Day is to honor Irish heritage, which is often ignored because people use the holiday as an excuse to go out and look at celebrations or to party with friends and family. Businesses in dominant cultures benefit because the businesses make money off the events that take place, and dominant cultures are able to enjoy the holiday without confronting the historical inequality Irish immigrants have faced. St. Patrick's Day is supposed to be a day to honor Irish heritage, but Irish immigrants are a huge disadvantage here because their struggles are often overlooked because of these events and parties. This case matters because it shows that cultural celebrations and traditions can be shaped by those in power, which impact how holidays like St. Patrick's Day are celebrated in the U.S. This reveals that symbolic ethnicity is very common in the U.S., so people can express their heritage through symbols without them interfering with their daily lives. St. Patrick's Day and Cinco de Mayo are both really similar, as Cinco de Mayo was started by activists to celebrate Mexican culture. Today, people celebrate the holiday with parties, parades, and food, which overlook the holiday's true meaning, which is very similar to St. Patrick's Day. This case tells us that dominant cultures benefit from entertaining versions of holidays, while the history of marginalized groups is very often overlooked. To conclude, St. Patrick's Day is an opportunity for individuals to express their Irish heritage through cultural celebrations and traditions, but the media and businesses often overshadow the holiday's meaning. The key insight here is that people can express their heritage symbolically, but institutions with a lot more power shape ethnic holidays and celebrations for fun and profit, ignoring the deeper meaning. Here are my references, and thank you for listening.